This is Solomonic Wisdom, and I want you to know something very important. You have probably felt it before. That moment when someone makes you question your own reality, or when someone showers you with attention and then suddenly withdraws it, or when you feel like you are being played, but you cannot quite explain how. These are not accidents. These are tactics, and they have names. Gaslighting, love bombing, triangulation, scarcity manipulation, social proof exploitation, intermittent reinforcement. If those terms sound clinical, that is because they are. Dark psychology has catalogued every manipulation tactic humans use against each other. And right now, people are using these tactics on you. In your relationships, in your workplace, in your social circles, even in the content you consume online. And here is what most channels will tell you to do. Learn the tactics so you can use them back. Fight fire with fire. Become the manipulator before someone manipulates you. But I am going to tell you something different. I am going to show you how to become immune, not by learning how to manipulate, but by understanding the framework that makes manipulation irrelevant. This is the Solomonic defense, and it has been protecting people from psychological warfare for 3,000 years. Stay until the end, because the final principle I give you is the one that changes everything. It is the reason some people walk through manipulation unscathed, while others get destroyed by it. Let's begin. First, let me show you what you are up against. Because you cannot defend against something you do not understand. Gaslighting is when someone makes you doubt your own perception of reality. They deny things they said. They twist your words. They make you feel like you are crazy for remembering what actually happened. Love bombing is when someone overwhelms you with affection, attention, and promises to create emotional dependency. Then they pull back, and you spend all your energy trying to get that feeling back. Triangulation is when someone brings a third party into a conflict to make you feel insecure, jealous, or less valuable. They create competition where none should exist. Scarcity manipulation is when someone creates artificial urgency or rarity to force you into decisions you are not ready to make. Limited time. One-time offer. If you do not act now, you lose forever. These tactics work. If they did not, people would not use them. And they work because they exploit fundamental human psychology, our need for certainty, our fear of loss, our desire for belonging, our hope for connection. So the question is not whether these tactics exist. The question is, how do you defend yourself without becoming the kind of person who uses them? Here is what most people do when they learn about manipulation. They become paranoid. They start seeing tactics everywhere. They assume everyone is playing games, and they start playing games back. That is not defense. That is contamination. Because here is what happens when you adopt manipulative tactics as your defense mechanism. You stop trusting anyone. You become isolated. You lose the ability to form genuine relationships. And you turn into the thing you were trying to protect yourself from. That is the trap. Dark psychology teaches you the tactics, but not the immunity. It teaches you how to fight, but not how to win. Solomon understood something deeper. The best defense is not counterattack. It is foundation. When you operate from a position of clarity, boundaries, and self-knowledge, manipulation cannot take root. Not because you are fighting it, but because there is nothing for it to grip onto. Let me show you how this works. The first Solomonic defense is clarity of self. Gaslighting only works when you doubt your own perception. When you are not sure what you saw, what you heard, what you experienced. The manipulator exploits that uncertainty. They insert their version of reality into the gap where your certainty should be. Solomon's solution is simple. Know yourself. Know what you saw. Know what you believe. Know what matters to you. This is not arrogance. This is self-possession. When someone tries to gaslight you, when they deny reality or twist your words, you do not argue. You do not try to convince them. You simply hold your ground. You say, this is what I experienced. This is what I know to be true. And I'm not debating it. The manipulator has two options: accept your reality or leave. Either way, they lose their leverage. Here is the key. You are not trying to win the argument. You are not trying to make them admit they are wrong. You are simply refusing to surrender your perception of reality. That is clarity of self, and it is the first line of defense. The second Solomonic defense is emotional sovereignty. Love bombing works because it creates dependency. The manipulator gives you a high, connection, validation, excitement, attention, and then they take it away, and you crash. And in that crash, you become desperate to get the high back. So you chase, you compromise, you tolerate behavior you would never accept from anyone else because you are addicted to the feeling they gave you. Solomon's solution is emotional sovereignty. You do not let anyone become your source of emotional stability. This does not mean you do not enjoy connection. It means you do not need it to feel whole. Your peace does not depend on someone else's approval. Your worth does not rise and fall with someone else's attention. When someone love bombs you, when they shower you with affection and promises, you appreciate it, but you do not anchor to it. You stay grounded in your own emotional center. And when they pull back, when they withdraw to create desperation, you do not chase. You observe. You notice the pattern, and you make a decision about whether this person is capable of consistency. Because here is what emotional sovereignty gives you. Options. When you are not desperate, you can choose. And when you can choose, you have power. The third Solomonic defense is relational abundance. Triangulation works because it exploits scarcity thinking. The manipulator makes you feel like you are in competition for their attention, their approval, their commitment. They bring up other people. They compare you. They make you feel like you are not enough. And if you operate from scarcity, if you believe that connection is rare, and you might lose this one, you will fight for it. You will compromise your dignity. You will tolerate disrespect. You will lower your standards just to stay in the game. Solomon's solution is abundance thinking. You recognize that healthy relationships are not scarce. Genuine connection is available. And anyone who makes you compete for basic respect is not someone worth competing for. This is not arrogance. This is discernment. When someone tries to triangulate you, when they bring up other people to make you jealous or insecure, you do not engage. You do not compete. You simply observe whether this person values you or uses you. And if they use you, you walk away. Not in anger. Not in revenge, just in clarity. Because you know that your energy is better spent building connections with people who do not play games. That is relational abundance, and it neutralizes triangulation completely. The fourth Solomonic defense is strategic patience. Scarcity manipulation works because it forces urgency. The manipulator creates a deadline, a limited opportunity, a now or never decision. And in that pressure, you make choices you would not make if you had time to think. Solomon understood that urgency is almost always artificial. Real opportunities do not disappear in 24 hours. Real partnerships do not require you to decide before you are ready. Real value does not need a countdown timer. So the Solomonic response to scarcity manipulation is simple. Slow down. When someone pressures you to decide now, you say, I need time. When someone says this offer expires today, you say, then I will pass. When someone makes you feel like you are going to lose out, you say, I would rather lose an opportunity than make a decision I am not ready for. Because here is what strategic patience reveals. If someone respects you, they will give you time. If they do not, they will pressure you. And that tells you everything you need to know. Manipulators cannot operate in slow time. They need urgency. They need panic. They need you to act before you think. Strategic patience removes their weapon. Now let me bring this together, because these are not just individual defenses. This is a system. Clarity of self protects you from gaslighting. Emotional sovereignty protects you from love bombing. Relational abundance protects you from triangulation. Strategic patience protects you from scarcity manipulation. And when you operate from this foundation, something shifts. You stop being a target. Not because you are fighting manipulation, but because there is nothing to manipulate. You know who you are. You are emotionally grounded. You are not desperate for connection. You do not make decisions under pressure. And manipulators sense this. They move on. Because manipulation requires vulnerability. And you are not vulnerable in the ways they need you to be. Here is what I want you to understand. This is not about becoming cold. This is not about shutting people out. This is not about assuming everyone is a threat. This is about operating from strength, from clarity, from self-possession. Because the truth is, most people are not manipulators. Most people are just trying to navigate life the best way they know how. But some people are manipulators. And you need to be able to recognize them without becoming paranoid. You need to be able to defend yourself without becoming defensive. That is what the Solomonic framework gives you. Immunity without isolation, boundaries without bitterness, discernment without cynicism. So here is the practical application, the part you can start using today. If someone makes you question your reality, do not argue. Just hold your ground. Say this is what I experienced and refuse to debate it. If someone creates emotional highs and lows, do not chase the high. Stay grounded, observe the pattern, and decide if this person is capable of consistency. If someone makes you compete for their attention, do not compete. Just recognize that healthy relationships do not require competition, and walk away with your dignity intact. If someone pressures you to decide now, slow down. Say, I need time. And watch how they respond, because their response tells you everything. This is not theory. This is 3,000 years of tested strategy. This is how you protect yourself without losing yourself. And here's the principle I promised you at the beginning, the one that changes everything. The reason some people are immune to manipulation is not because they are smarter or stronger. It is because they have built a foundation that manipulation cannot penetrate. Manipulators look for cracks, uncertainty, desperation, emotional instability, fear of loss. When you operate from clarity, sovereignty, abundance, and patience, there are no cracks. There is nothing to exploit. You are not fighting manipulation. You are simply living in a way that makes manipulation irrelevant. That is the Solomonic defense, and it is unbreakable. So here is my challenge to you. Stop learning how to manipulate. Stop trying to fight fire with fire. Start building the foundation that makes you immune. Know yourself, own your emotions, operate from abundance, practice patience, and watch how your entire relational landscape changes. Not because you are pushing people away, but because you are attracting people who do not need to manipulate to connect. This is what wisdom looks like in practice. This is what 3,000 years of proof gives you. And I'm giving it to you for free. No paywall, no membership, no hidden content. Because the best way to neutralize manipulation is to raise the intelligence of everyone in the room. Subscribe if you want more of this. This is just the beginning. Let's build something unshakable. Save this video to re-watch again later. This is the kind of insight dark psychology channels would charge you for. I'm giving it to you because the best way to neutralize manipulation is to raise the intelligence of the entire room. Subscribe if you want more. No paywall, just wisdom. And check out these suggested videos to continue the journey and step into the next level in the Solomonic Wisdom.